Okay, so
you coming in? All right.
I told Dave that we're saving the seat, but I'm that's a lie now. So he can join us next time. So,
Make sure. Wide shot, and then we've got these lights if we need them. No, it's all good. All good, all good, all good.
I'd like to come in and look really important.
Okay. Thanks, Adam, for your importantness.
Yeah, we have seen you and felt your importance.
it's just echoing. It's reverberating. Yeah, it's fantastic,
Yes,
actually. So Vitaly, are you gonna plan for next year to apply for the Peace Fellowship?
Probably next year, like to fulfill all the requirements.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, like I said, I'm not trying to preach or tell you what to do, but be sure to follow Gordon's advice because he helped me get this fellowship. And it's an $80,000 fellowship, full ride. Like I said last night on the conversation with you, you do have to pay a couple $1,000s, like $1,000 to $2,000 to take care of the health insurance and the visa, but everything else is taken care of.
Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. But yeah, if you whatever have any other questions or anything like that, or I can get you connected to other Peace Fellows. I'm sure Gordon may have already got you connected or provide some recommendations. But if you reach out to Gordon, hey Gordon, I want to talk to other Peace Fellows who have the fellowship, who have a specialty in like humanitarian law or related to peace studies. He has the connections. He has the people. He knows the people. So
Okay, thank you.
he's an incredible resource.
Can I say something in Ukrainian?
Yeah.
Я хотіла тільки сказати, що дуже вас полюбляю за це, що ви сильні, ви оптимістичні. Дуже велике вам, низький вам уклін. І дякую за це.
Дякую тобі.
Дякую дуже.
Here we go then. Shall we then?
Shall we?
Shall we? Right,
Fantastično.
right, okay.
Готові?
Right, let me just turn my volume down. Coming in to be unhelpful. That's good. Right, okay. To be important. This is what I like. I like.
Oh, my face.
Your face
Okay.
looks great. It's beautiful. You have a
We've got,
beautiful face.
There's a wide shot. So let's just swap
Yeah.
that.
Everyone give us a smile.
Smile.
There's a wide shot.
Oh,
There's our wide
great.
shot. So that's all of us on. There we go.
Okay.
That's all of
Right,
us.
so the wide shot is where Adam is. So if you wanted to talk big and wide,
Hey, what?
Hey, wide.
but most,
Come on, Chris, you need to smile as well.
uh,
I'm the lady over there, Julia. Hey, Julia. Give us a big cheese.
big cheesy smile.
See you.
Come on, Chris, that's not cheese.
I don't do cheesy smiles. When
Can you do
have a
one with a
single happy
selfie in
smile.
it? You want to be in the photo?
Oh, no.
No.
Wow, you can.
Anyway, not bad. 20 minutes late. So there we
Okay.
go.
That's
Okay.
perfect. This is great. This is
Okay.
wonderful. Thank you,
Next time.
Cynthia.
Thank you.
This one say after that.
It's
Right.
okay.
Who are you going to go to first in studio? Do you know? You
Um,
don't have to know.
I don't have, I
Right,
kind of just want to be an
everyone-
organic conversation.
all right.
How do I switch the focus of the cameras?
I do that.
You do that? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
fair
look,
enough.
you look now. I can do that.
Oh,
That's you.
Yeah,
So Adam can't. So you've got you plus the screen.
yes.
Yeah, and then we've got the wide shot, which is that. I hope.
No, that's her.
Oh,
That's
it
right.
is. Yeah, sorry. There's the wide shot. Sorry, I've just
Okay.
replugged it myself.
And where's my
Wide shot. There we go. And then if I want, I can move the camera to it.
Okay,
There
love
she
it.
is. This is great.
Love it.
We're gonna have some fun. I know things are really difficult, but I think we're gonna have some fun too.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, so everyone's hearing everybody that should be hearing everybody.
Yeah.
And then just turn it on.
I don't think, no, you don't need headphones,
Right,
actually.
so-
No.
Huh?
Mind just lifting your laptop a second?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Putting the slider for the back studio. Turn the back studio.
Yep.
And you. Okay.
Okay.
And in terms of recording the right output, you're happy with that? And
Yeah,
talking to
I think that's
All right, and if I
brilliant.
tap you on your shoulders because you're leaning into my shot. Right. Okay.
Well, okay.
So we get this then.
Yeah, we're already recording, so we'll just edit it too
Yeah.
as well. And then we can go ahead and get this ball rolling.
Yes.
Um,
Okay, still talking about this. Shannon is here and she's going to take us right into it. Let's go.
are we? Are we going to go right into it?
I mean, it's exciting that we're talking about this. I feel like so many people need this awareness, and it's super exciting that to have you and to have other initiatives and NGOs and people, volunteers, people who are joining us right now, who have decided to take out their time to fight for this cause and to end this war at all costs. Shannon, take us into it.
Yeah, thank you, Cynthia. It's my great privilege to introduce my friends who I dearly care about. Joining us from Ukraine, Lviv, is my dearest friend, Yuko. Yuko is in the process of trying to finish her PhD while being fully involved in this process. Then we also have two additional members that have joined us as well. We have Victoria, who's joining us from Turkey, who's Ukrainian. And then we also have another Ukrainian joining us from Austria. All three of my friends are in school. They're students just like us.
Just like us. And I remember before we came on, while we were talking to Yulia, and she was talking about how that she had to, on that day, she did not believe it. And I know that happens to a lot of us. When this thing happens, we're still in disbelief, and we're like, no, it can't happen. We're good. I'll just go by my day-by-day activity. But unfortunately, this is the new norm. This is what we're facing now, which is really, really sad.
It's terrifying as well, right? Like I don't want to go into a deep dive into like fear mongering or anything like that, but this is a real war in Europe that's happening right now. And it's just like, I'm still, and sometimes feel like I'm in shock.
I feel like we need to talk, we need to show off, so that people can know that we're indeed really, really bothered and scared and really sad that this is happening. And I mean, our heart goes out to everyone who is currently in this fight right now. And you said about your friend who's an American who's leaving everything he has to do just to go and fight, because I mean he wants this to happen, to end.
I have plenty of friends actually who are actually flying over to Poland, and either they're like medical professionals or they're military from the United States as well. They reached out to me. It's like, Shannon, how can we help Ukraine? How do we get over there? And speaking about going back to Ukraine or going back to Poland, we have our friend Alexandra joining us, and she is leaving for Poland tomorrow, back to her home country to volunteer. Alexandra, can you tell us about that?
Yes. So I'm going to, as you said, I'm going to Poland tomorrow, and actually I have no idea what to expect because all I can see is the pictures and the videos on the internet, and to be honest, I'm quite like anxious what I'm gonna see on my own eyes, because it's different when you see something in social media and when you face this. So actually, but I hope I'm gonna be useful there, and because I got a lot of messages that people need volunteers there.
Yeah, they need people to translate. They need people to know Ukrainian, right?
Shannon said your father is there.
Yeah, my dad, he's in Lviv city. It's the west part of Ukraine. He is working there as a volunteer as well. He helps people there. Hopefully he's gonna go back soon. But I think he's gonna go back as well to Ukraine after I will come back to Bradford.
Well, he's in our thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, I think the thing on everyone's mind is I just want to go back home. I want to go back home. That's what everyone is really like. I feel like it's really sad to watch and I know you mentioned how that some people at the border just leave their families, their children, and say, take care of my children while I'm going to fight for my country. I want to fight for my home. I want my kids to come back home. I feel like it's really that moment for me, I would just break down. I can't imagine staying away from your kids for a long time to fight for a cause. It's really, really sad. Really.
Right. Vitaly, you and I were talking about this last night. All your family's in Lviv. I mean, Victoria, Yulia, all your family's in Lviv.
Oof.
Yulia, since you're in Lviv right now, can you share with us? And by the way, congratulations for nearly finishing your PhD. I'm so incredibly proud of you.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just
Yay.
years. Can you share with us once more what your PhD is, what your studies are in, and
How
what,
you're dealing with
Right,
this
and
emotionally.
how can we support you? How can I
Yes.
support you? Because I just want to give you a hug and I can't give you a hug.
Actually, a hug will be the best because it will be the warmest one. And I know it's difficult to realize now. But yeah, and I also can say in what way you can help me as well as for other Ukrainians. Because of course volunteering is important, but the worst thing is what is happening now is killing people every day, and I know you yourself, you don't have enough power to stop it, I know, but all of us are on the way to do it, I know, because all the world is working on it. And talking about my PhD, thank you for your congratulations, and I hope it will become true soon. I will repeat myself a little bit, that in the day when the war has started, I was not able to believe it. I was thinking what to do now to plan the day like it was planned yesterday evening, or to change something. Actually, to be truly, I was really panicking on the first day, but I packed my things to bag and went to lab. But as I was previously said, our chief advised us to not to come today. At least I was like, okay, I will not come today, but I will come tomorrow. Today I will think about all these. I also called my mom because when I understood that it's really dangerously, I was wishing to bring her to Lviv because she's living in the town with a nuclear power station. Thanks God, it's not very close to east of Ukraine. It's more close to the west, but still, it's. I think it's dangerous because the guys which are our enemies, they are not controlling themselves and they are not thinking of the consequences, right? But she said that she cannot come, she's still working, and I understood, okay, everything is okay. If she's working, she's on the roll, and she's better than it can be in this situation. Also, I called my sister. She also decided to not to come to Lviv. She's in Ternopil, but it's safe place for now, as I understood. When I realized that it's really war, when I got back to home, I started to pack a small emergency bag. Before, like months before the war, all the people were talking about these emergency bags, and in the internet we were able to check lists of things which should be in your emergency bag, but I was not packing it because I didn't anticipate it will really happen. I was just thinking that people are panicking. So I decided to pack this bag and stayed at home for some time. First days I was not visiting lab, and I understood that things are getting worse. But also in the same moment, I understood that Ukraine is really fighting. It was a fact which made me feel a little bit calm, because I knew that it won't be like okay, there was Ukraine here or no Ukraine. I understood if we are fighting and if there are a lot of people who are on the side of Ukraine, that we have a lot of chances to survive and to save our independence.
Right? That's, I
Yeah,
think
very
Cynthia's
deep.
starting to cry, which I'm about to tear up as well, because I can't emphasize how proud I am of you and all my friends in Ukraine and every single Ukrainian for fighting for your independence and your autonomy from a dictatorship. Ukraine needs to retain its autonomy, and whatever we have to do to support that and talk about it and make people aware of this real situation is incredibly critical. And Yuko, I wish I can, like I said earlier, I wish I can just reach through the screen and give you a hug.
big hug.
I gave Yulia a hug about 6 months ago. Yeah, I was in Ukraine. She met me at the train stop at 6 a.m. in the morning
Oh, wow.
with flowers.
Wow.
Yeah, I cried. It was my birthday, actually. It was my birthday.
That's so thoughtful.
And she surprised me. And
I like to do surprises.
she's amazing. And then we went out afterwards. I went to my hotel. She went to the lab, and then she picked me back up, and we got out, and I had the best waffles in my life.
Oh,
And if you
no.
want some really great waffles, Yulia can get you the place. When you visit, you have to visit Ukraine in the future. You have to visit.
I like what she said when she said that the more we have people on our side, the more the war comes to an end very quickly. Our prayers are just with you. Our thoughts are with you also. I mean, it's really strong. And my question is, how do you communicate with your mom, your sister? Because everyone is in different areas now. How are you planning to come together sometime?
Okay, so we usually communicated via chat. It was a Viber chat when we always did status updates, like everything is okay every morning and everything is okay in the evening, or when it's air alarm, I was checking regions which are under this air alarm, and if I see the regions where my mom is, I was calling her. Is she hide? Did she hide or not? Just to make sure that she is careful. And in a couple of days, I understood that she is responsible for herself, and I was calm about this. Like, I know she's doing right things, and it was good for me, because sometimes older people, they like, what will be, this will be, I don't care. But I see that she's trying to save herself, and it's good. And I also was more calm when I understood that in our city, in our time, we have a good not just basements, but good underground places which are organized to be bunker, like a really safe place for these emergency situations. Because if the city has a nuclear power station, it should be organized like this. Lviv has much lower organization in this case. So I understood that she's in the better condition than me, and it was like a balsam on my heart, like a balm. So
that's fantastic.
I think it's a normal thing to worry about your mom, your family members, even though your mom is a responsible person and she can take care of herself. But I think it's a normal thing to worry about your family, especially that they are in Ukraine right now.
Mhm.
There is a war and this horrible situation. So
yeah, in the beginning, I was thinking that it will be better if she will be near me, because it's difficult for her to move. She can move, but she's doing it slow. But she's okay.
Are they getting aids? Are they getting support?
Excuse me?
Are they getting aids now? Are people volunteering? Are people donating to them now? I mean, how are they getting food and all of these other things?
She's able to get food by herself. It's just difficult for her to go fast, for example. Um, but in general, everything is okay. So she's not. Um, she is an independent in this case. Yeah, and sister, she is saying that when the war second was, the building which she is renting was attacked by rockets. So rockets are not pointing the one target twice. So she thinks she's safe. And
Wait, Yulia, your sister's building where she lives at has been bombed.
she said it was like that because the owner of her place was saying this, and she's joking that it won't be attacking one more time. It's a joke.
But okay. So it has happened once, and they're joking that it won't happen again.
Although it won't destroy it because it's super strong Austrian building.
Yeah, it's I'm wrapping my head around that.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Please don't ever be sorry. That's just like, that's a lot to process. And
it was gonna to be a joke, and I didn't I didn't make you feel like this. Sorry.
Yulka, I don't think you can ever make me feel bad. Honestly, I really appreciate you. And hey, you didn't share with us what your PhD is, did you?
In the lab. She's in the
lab, but she's like, can you share with us one more time what your PhD is?
Yes, I'm getting PhD in molecular genetics and biotechnology. And yeah, and I'm gonna to defend my thesis in the end of autumn or in the winter, and I hope everything will be okay. Now I know that I can choose 2 different ways of working. I can go to lab and work on the experiments, or I can do like most of other my colleagues. They are working distantly in home, but this way is not for me because I have a lot of tasks to finish by the date. So now I actually happy that I can be in my lab every day, because it make me feel more confident about the future. It make me feel that everything like was before, and nothing is changed in a very cruel way. But in the same time, I understand that for some people on the east of Ukraine, it's much harder. But I'm trying to taste my previous life till I have this chance, and I hope this chance won't be stopped one day, because now we are having a lot of actually attacks on Lviv, but for now they are 50-50, like not so dangerous but not so safe. Okay, we cannot say that it's safe because it's attacks on your city and you don't know what target they will point next time. But when I'm in the lab, it's in city center, and I understand that nearby there are no installations related to this related to the war, and it makes me calm. One problem which I meet here in the lab is that when I hear air alarm, I used to hide in the basement, and I usually try to do it because I know it's important to do everything what you can for saving your life. But in the same moment, there were moments when I worked on the experiment and I understood, if I leave it like this now and I go to the basement, I will lost a couple days of work because it wasn't continued. And I have to choose what to do. And if I understand that okay, it's a calm area of city. Sometimes I prolong and I continue to do my experiment. And also I have problem that I have student here, and she is young and really scared, and I don't want to give her a bad example of not trying um, to save me. And if she's here, I feel responsibility to go to the basement and to show her a good example. Right, and it's always a choice which I should do, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. But I'm happy that I can do this choice, not like people on the East. And actually, I also had student here who is from China. And on the second week of war, he left Ukraine, and he was thinking that he's leaving just for a couple of weeks, but after all, he realized that he have to come back to China. And when he was aiming his flight to China, he called me and he was crying. And I understood that before he calling me, I didn't feel what I felt after he called, because he was really worrying about us. And I understood that he is showing all the feelings which feel other my other foreign friends. And if people are worried about us so much, I just can see another way of this war, like Ukrainians winning, because we have no choice. A lot of people believe on us, and a lot of people want Ukraine to survive. I was really it was heartbreaking to hear his and to see like he's crying. It's not like Ukrainians crying. It's something more strong, or I don't know. It's just what I felt at that moment.
Юлко, я тебе люблю.
Я тебе теж, Shannon.
Так, thank you. Thank you. So yes,
I wanted to say before we go back to Yulia, let's talk to you, Shannon. I know that you're doing so much with the NGO, trying to send out funds, donations to everyone in Ukraine and your sisters and brothers. I mean, you want to tell us a bit about what you're doing now?
well, we have a couple things that we're trying to mobilize, basically. So I'm a member of my friend's Rotaractor Club in Lviv. I've been a member for many years, actually.
Great.
And so what it is that they're called the Lviv International Rotaractor Club, and they're a group of young, ambitious professionals that are either working or they're in university, and they just have a vision of a very bright future for Ukraine. And these are the future of Ukraine, these youths, these individuals, these young professionals such as Yuko, Vitaly, Victoria, that just want to thrive in autonomous Ukraine and be the future, basically. So in support of them and in support of my friends throughout the entire country, I'm in the process of trying to figure out what avenues we can get additional funds and support through. This podcast is one of those.
Yeah, trust me.
This is one of the 4 or 5 projects I have going on simultaneously in support of this initiative. And through this podcast, I really hope we can raise a localized and web-based awareness about what's really happening, and having friends such as Yuko, Vitaly, and Victoria join us and tell us firsthand what they're going through and what their experiences are. And then we can go out to the local businesses and we can reach out to the local community and be like, hey, let's share their stories. Let's talk to them. And basically just continue to have a dialogue. Another one, I'm not going to go through all the projects. Maybe in the next one, I'll tell you a little
Okay.
bit more.
I
Yeah.
like that we have more and more people every day supporting and volunteering, which is really great. I mean, look at Alexandra going back to Poland to want to help. And I just wish you the best tomorrow, because I mean, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what you're going to face when you go there. I mean, it's really, really huge that you decided to support and volunteer for this. Do we have any other people that we know about, any other of our friends that is supported, that we want to encourage right now? Because the more we talk about people encouraging, the more we have more people who want to support. I spoke to you that I met someone on Sunday and just showing him a video, and it was like, oh my God, I didn't know it was this bad. Okay, I now want to support regardless, or however I can now support. And that's why we need to continue spreading this message to get more people to be involved, to get more people to volunteer, to donate, which is very, very important. I know that monetary value will be super exciting to get more people to say, more businesses to say, oh, I just want to drop this, I just want to put this, I just want to put this into it, to make sure that we end this war at all costs. Do we have more friends that you know?
Yeah, actually, I think there's a lot of people that want to get involved, but they don't know how to get involved, right?
Yes.
And that's why
That's
we're
it.
having these conversations to figure out
That's
how
wow.
can we give everybody an avenue within their own individual capacities, because all of us are students.
Yeah.
Regardless this war is happening, I still have a dissertation due next
I
month.
know, right?
Yuko still needs to like defend her thesis in October, regardless of the war.
Yeah.
So how can we
regardless.
support one another as students through our academics in an actual war? Like none of us really planned for this. It's fascinating. Like I'm a Rotary Peace Fellow with the Peace Studies and International Development Center here at Bradford,
Okay.
which is connected to Rotary International. And we're basically like, I'm one of the 10 fellows that got selected for 1 year. And this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be a group of ambitious individuals who are focused on peace and development, and how do we bring people together across cultures, across societies in support of peace. But yeah, let's circle back to our friends, Vitaly and Victoria. And Vitaly and Victoria actually are very motivated in peace studies and international law. Victoria, can you tell us about your studies, what you're doing in Turkey? Why are you in Turkey and not Ukraine? And a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Victoria. I'm first year student. I studied international law at my university.
Yay.
I'm on the faculty of international relationship. So it's really, I have no words to describe the situation. And I realized that all what I learned at the university became true. And it's really incredible. Yep, I'm in Turkey now. I just joined my family. I'm in safety, but I really miss Ukraine. I really miss Lviv. I really miss my university. All my friends and all my relatives are there, are in Ukraine. Moreover, my aunt and my uncle, they are soldiers, and we fight. All our family try to do something. Like my mom, who stays in Ukraine, she joined a special program to help children in Ukraine. My grandma prepare food for soldiers, and everyone just pray for our country. And I do my usual life as much as I can. I try to do my best, and from Turkey I try to work in group with other students of international law and legal studies. We prepare special guides for Ukrainians, how to live in these difficult times, how to stay safe, and how to protect rights. We create posts, so we share the information with people. That's all what I do now.
It's so incredibly important, Victoria, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and the weight that you're carrying and the stress that you're carrying too. So I just want to recognize you and thank you too, because I think that's also something that we need to be cautious about too, is the mental health as we go through this as well. And I just hope you're taking time for yourself, even though as difficult as it is, to to look into yourself, to appreciate yourself and everything that you're doing too, and the weight that you're carrying, and recognize that I hope we're able to carry some of that weight with you. And so you don't have to carry it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I guess that the mental health now is one of the most important thing for everyone, for Ukrainians and even for foreigners who are worried about Ukraine. Please stay safe. Keep your mind cold. Don't let yourself to fall in depression. Everything will be okay. We will have peace. Definitely. I can say like a future international lawyer. Everything will be okay.
I cannot wait to see your photos and to see your videos of you walking and getting that diploma. And I hope, it will happen in Ukraine. It will happen in Lviv or whatever university you want, but I'm so excited to cheer you on for that and be a huge support system for you, Victoria, or will be a support system
Yes,
together.
we would love to.
Right?
Great one. Great one.
Thank you,
Seriously.
Victoria. All right,
Thank
Vitaly,
you.
sorry for keeping you waiting, but we're all excited to hear what you're doing in Austria.
Yeah, so first thing to say that I'm in Austria for less than a week, since I've been in Ukraine for almost a month of the whole war. As you know, so like as soon as the war started, there was a ban for all men to leave the country. But so it was for almost a month, and later on there was like full instruction by our local administration who can leave, also from the men. And there was a point that the students who are studying abroad at the university, and I fall under this very criteria since I'm Erasmus student here in Vienna University, and my parents insisted me coming here. So I'm here for less than a week, and I'll like now give you a speech what I've done in Ukraine for a month during the war, and now what I'm doing in Lviv, and what the people around me were doing in Lviv and in Ukraine during this time. So Yulko has already mentioned how the war started to her. To her, I would mention how I felt at the start of the war. The first thing was like my father woke up me in the morning with the words, "Get up, the war has started." That was probably the most terrifying words from my father I've heard early in the morning. And so I woke up. The first thing I was going to the windows to open my curtains. And then the first thing I saw that was a military plane flying just above my house in the direction to the Belarus border, where like the second type of troops were invading into our countries. So I've seen this very military plane, and it enormous sound, and that was like the second emotion of the first day of the war, which I'll definitely remember for my whole life, and later on I'll tell to my children and my grandchildren. So the first day, I think, for all of us in Ukraine was terrible. So were all reading the news all the time, what's happening, what's going on, where is the troops, where are the military actions, what's going on. That was the first day. Probably the first night was the same. So nobody was sleeping at all. So everyone was sitting, just waiting for the air alarm or something like that. As to the air alarms, so my family and I, we are living in the countryside in our own home. And actually there is no separate place where to hide from the rocket attack. So from the possible rocket attack, since all this basement, they all should fill some criteria. So people are not also to use just a simple basement to hide, since, for example, should a rocket fall into the house and then the house will crash, they will die there in the basement since no one will be able to find them or something like that. So my only choice and the choice of my family was just to stay at home, like doing our normal life both during the day and during the night. And so living by the phrase that what should happen, it will happen. that was my perspective since I was living in the countryside. However, my friends who were living in the city, in these very high buildings, they were definitely hiding. At the second day of the war, that was more the day of when we were all seeking the actions. What shall we do to help our army and our country to win, not only to reach the peace, but to win? Now it is like in all the Ukrainians, in all the souls of Ukrainians, not only to have the peace, but to win this very war, since that were not we who started this war. And that's a point after the open sentence from the 2014 by the annexation of the Crimea and the Donetsk and Luhansk Open that we now have to solve for the future to finalize this very issue. So we were all finding the ways how to help our army and what can we do. I've started to write and chat all my international friends and sending them the accounts where they can donate money for Ukrainians army or Ukrainian humanitarian organization to support the people. I don't know exactly how much we have collected, but I hope that will be a very huge amount of money. Since, and I was excited that even people from Hong Kong, from the New Zealand, they were all concerned. And some of them, when I already mailed them, just try to donate, spread this news among your friends. Some of them already answered me, yeah, we have already donated, we have already spread among our friends, and I was just, wow, so you're already doing it. Also, there was, a high flow of refugees from the east of Ukraine to the west and abroad. So also my family and I, first of all, tried to meet some of them and help. Like Lviv is a very huge logistic center during the war, so we were helping them. For some who came from Kyiv, for example, to sit on the right train to go to Germany or to go to Poland, of these very logistical issues, as well as there were some refugees living in my home from Kyiv, since in Lviv that was a little bit safer. Also, we had the communication with my friends of what can we do. All the NGOs were working full time. We were collecting money for some needs for the army, for the military. And after a month, when I had the possibility to come to Austria, finally, I'm here in Austria now, and like the first couple of days, what I've seen here is that a huge concert was organized in the support of Ukraine here in Austria, like in the main square in Austria, where more than 100,000 people gathered. All of them were able to donate money using the QR code and all the accounts or all the boxes to donate money. Also, there, what was interesting, like the special Ukrainian masks with the yellow and blue color were distributed to all the people. All the people were able to buy the flags, to cover them with these very flags, so to show the support with Ukraine. And that was really amazing. That were more than 100,000 people in one square. And so I couldn't just stop myself from starting to cry, but still I was doing my best. Now here in Austria, there is also a lot of work done for our refugees from Ukraine. This all is based on our Ukrainian churches here. So there are free clothes for young children. There is full-time help for the people emotionally, for people who have just arrived, who need to pass through all the administrative procedures, who need to find accommodation, who need to find work here in Austria. It is also everything done. And I must say that also our churches, both in Lviv, when I was in Ukraine, and here in Austria, they are praying all the time for the peace and for the victory in Ukraine. And I believe that God will listen to our prayers, and
Yes.
this all will end as soon as possible, and we'll definitely win. But today the question is, what would be the price of our victory? And it depends not only from Ukraine and Ukrainian people, but as well from the support of the international governments, from the international society.
That's very powerful. What's the cost of victory?
Very, very encouraging.
Right? Like I can't, that's something I think we should talk about maybe in the future as well, is the cost of victory.
Victory.
Because Ukraine will win. Slava Ukraini.
Yes.
So I do want to, you kind of took me back for a second when you were in an auditorium or at a production or at a concert for 100,000 people wearing the blue and yellow, the Ukrainian colors. And that must have been incredibly powerful. And when I see on social media and I see people walking, I try to wear Ukrainian colors as much as possible. In fact, I need more items with Ukrainian colors.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to tell you, Vitaly, what we're doing here at the university, where I'm hoping we can actually do, is that I'm really hoping to mobilize students here at the university to give them an outlet to support Ukraine, and see if we can get some local businesses and see if they would be up
Yes.
to support us as well, and open an avenue of funding where we can use QR codes. So people in the area, as we talk about this, can have an active participation in supporting our
boop,
Ukrainian
And
friends.
I mean, just click,
Yeah.
just take the QR code and you can support as much as you can.
Right?
I think you have said so many things. I want to really, really encourage and say that I'm excited about everything that you've said. I mean, look at Victoria's grandmom who makes food for the soldiers also. I feel like everyone on their part are doing so many things, and it's quite encouraging and powerful. And I mean, was just encouraging more. We're excited about this. This is a good one. I mean, I don't know. I just want this war to come to an
I
end.
didn't want the story where to start. This should have never happened, but that's a conversation for another point and another rant for me. So, but I know we're about to, I just want to open up the floor for any other ideas or thoughts you guys want to share with us.
How do you think we can support more? Because like we said, a lot of the challenge is that a lot of people don't know how to support. Everyone wants to be a part of it. Everyone knows about it. Now, we don't know how to directly support. Do you want to share information with us? I mean, it would be very useful, because we don't know where this video, like you remember we're saying this before now, we don't know how far this video is going to go, and we don't know how many people are going to see this. So, I mean, we want to put out more information, as many informations as possible, just to make sure that we get more and more people to support. We're already getting people who are donating. We want to get more people to say, I want to donate more. I want to support more. So you want to share more information with us so that we can get people to come on board.
Yeah, I believe that first that we are all to pray for these things to stop as soon as possible. The second one is that everyone is in possession of the account, like to donate money, everyone how much he or she can to donate. The third thing is definitely to help the refugees if they are in your city, like to give them just simple administrative advice, how to register, how to get job, how to get accommodation in your city. That's probably the first thing that they need. The fourth one would be, I believe, that's for all of the people, but first of all to those who have some political influence, like to try to influence the government to do more and more. Yes, they are definitely doing, but still we believe that they can do even more, and their actions could be more powerful to engage to close the sky over Ukraine, to engage to put the oil embargo and natural gas embargo from Russia. Like every time there is something that the international organization society can do more So for the people, that's the way to encourage them to do more, as if the people won't want them to do more, they will have not such a great desire to do that. But if the people will require from the government to do more, then probably the government would at least think of doing more.
Thank you. I think also it's not just short-term relief. We need to look at the long-term rebuild as well. Like we can, like, there's the immediate need for the donations now, but I also think we need to have a dialogue to figure out how we can support Ukraine for years to come, right? It's not just right now for the next couple of months,
Sure.
because the damage that has been done, this is going to be kind of a trigger, but over 1,200 Russian missiles have landed and bombed Ukraine in just 30 days.
Wow. Wow.
Just to give you a scale of the devastation that has happened to the cities of Kharkiv, Chernihiv, Mariupol. And then we can have a discussion off air about, and I can show you some of those images. A lot has happened, and I think we need to talk about how we're going to unite for years to come for peace and rebuild when this war ends, and then how can we still support our brothers and sisters for years to come. Thank you, Vitaly. Victoria, I see your hand is up.
I would like to pay attention really important. I think so. It's first of all informational work, which now provided by Russia and by other main people who are support war. I think we all should share really good news, really like news where trust, and should keep our to from the critical point of view. Pay attention.
Hey, Victoria, your mic is kind of, I think it's your connection, but I think I know what you're saying. If you want to put your answer in the chat box, I'll read it out loud. I think there's a little bit of a lag in your connection.
Yeah.
But I think what you're saying is that we need to look at the news, but make sure we get the news from good sources, good, credible, non-biased sources. That have a good reputation, and as we watch the news or read the news, recognize where this news sources might be coming from, and make sure that it's credible.
It's credible.
Avoiding fake news and misinformation is very important.
And it's really hard to tell the difference between fake news and real news nowadays too.
Exactly.
Honestly, so we can definitely share some of those sources. I think sources that come directly from within Ukraine are really good reputable sources
because
too.
They are first-hand information. I mean,
yeah,
news that come directly from there. Yes.
I'm so sorry, Victoria. Your connection's a little off, but I think, like I said, if you want to put it in the chat and I'll read it, or do you want to try saying something again?
You understand me perfectly.
Oh, that's good. I like to think I understand.
So we were talking, and you were saying how that people are leaving. People now have to walk their way out of the country.
Yes, yes. So I lived in the city, and I don't want to say specifics about where I lived on air, just because I don't want that location to be compromised kind of situation.
Okay.
But I live in a city that is centrally located for almost 3 years, and the cities have a large influx of refugees going through it. Because it's centrally located, because people are literally walking across the country by foot. And when they get to this location to find shelter or just to sleep on the floor of one of these schools or administration buildings, they don't even have food to eat. There's no medicine, there's nothing. So they're literally going hungry while walking by foot. And it takes a week. It's an incredible, painful and difficult thing to do, because they're carrying everything that they own, and they had to leave things behind. And they're carrying their pets and their children, and they're walking by foot, or they're driving, or it's difficult to wrap my head around, but it's difficult for all of us to wrap our head around about the level of need that is there. So I'm really hoping to target, not target, but when we do our fundraising campaigns through the university and the local businesses to support areas that are supporting refugees, to let them know that we care, that we are recognizing their struggles, and that anything, even if it's just $100, to be honest with you, is a lot of money, especially because that can feed like 500 people, right? Like, so the pound here is much stronger than the hryvnia. So that will go much further. Even though there's an inflation with the cost of materials and everything like that, you can still feed people. And you can still give them a warm meal, even if they're sleeping on the floor with just a blanket, because they're trying to survive and escape a war zone, because they're actively being bombed at and attacked at, and they're going through this trauma. But yeah, I think this is something we have to continue to have a discussion about and figure out what we could do to support others, to support this cause and our friends. Yuko, you had your hand up momentarily. Is there something you want to say too?
Actually, nothing specific. I just wanted to support the thoughts of Vitali about importance for us of clothing the sky. I know we have been asking, and our president have been asking about this a lot, and he stopped to do it because he felt that it won't happen. And all of Ukrainians already understand that 99% that it won't happen, but still there is 1% which allows us to believe that maybe people will influence, or some high level persons will influence the departments, the governments of NATO countries, and they will do it. Because why is this percent exists? Because I just can't believe that these lives that are not existing anymore, they don't force it. Because I think that on the governments of these countries to whom we are talking, they are very strong and they are smart, and sometimes I don't believe they cannot find the way to save us and in the same moment save their countries. I know I'm not very good in politician sphere, but I just can't understand why these people are dying. It's just bombing. It's like I came to the hole with insects and just killed all of them by my feet, and nobody do anything for me, even if they understand that these insects are golden and they means a lot to this world. It's just like this.
You're not an insect, darling.
I mean, you know,
at all. I will never ever use that analogy whatsoever. But I understand. I can't say I understand where you're coming from, because I don't want to say that I understand, because I'm not there with you. I'm not there to hug you. Like I said, I can say that from an outside perspective looking in, that that whole insect analogy, I believe you feel like an insect right now, right? And then you have this power that you have no control, stepping on the people that you love. And the question is, what can we do to stop that foot from going down? Because you're not an insect. You're one of my best friends. You're one of my people that I really cherish and care about. And I want you to thrive, and I want you to be happy, and I want Ukrainians to continue their everyday lives. And this is going to be a long road, but we're here to support you every step of the way, and then just continue having a conversation. And then how many podcasts we have to do, I'm going to be here.
We're going to be taking it out.
Okay.
Getting the word out. I mean, like we already established, it's like one of the most important things to do. I mean, we need to let more people know about it. We need to let more people know why this should not even have started in the first place, and why it should come to an end very quickly. And of course, still share our thoughts and prayers to everyone who's currently there now, we can't understand what they're going through. I mean, we can only hear from them. I mean, it's really devastating, but I know that this will be over very soon.
Right. So I think till the next podcast, we can have a conversation, and then we can explore different avenues of little outlets that we can dive into a little bit more, or little facets, and to figure out where can we really zoom in and talk about not the little things, because none of these things are little. All these things are huge. right? And then just continue to bring in other students, students of the university, students, our friends in Ukraine, and have conversations and continue sharing the word and figuring out what outlets we can utilize to support one another through this atrocity and this genocide.
Yes.
I mean, there has been debate on whether it's a genocide or not, but no, in my personal opinion, based on, well, I'm not going to dive into too much, but it's a genocide.
Trust me.
So, and yeah, I think that's where we're going to continue with this.
Yes, and I also want to quickly encourage everyone and appreciate, that's the word, everyone always putting their effort, making sure that this happens. It's really, really amazing to have people support this. Thank you so much. Also,
yeah, we have 2 staff in here who have generously donated a couple hours of their time.
Thank you so much, because I mean, whatever you're doing, whatever effort you're putting in, it still goes a long way, and trust me, you're making this work and it means so much to us. Trust me.
Yes. And we want to tell Alex she's going to Poland tomorrow. She's flying to Poland tomorrow to go to Ukraine.
You are a hero.
And she's heading back there to volunteer for a couple of weeks. And Alex, I know what they really need right now are translators too, right? We need translators who speak Ukrainian, who speak English, who speak all these Polish, and who can be a conduit in like communicating effectively through this effort. And yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you for what you're doing. I know it's stressful.
Yeah, because I mean, you're taking time out of your normal day-to-day activity to
school. She still has work to do. She still has academics to do.
Very, very important. I mean, I have assessment I have to submit. I can imagine not leaving them. And
I mean, I feel like I have to do this. I have to do something. I mean, we are doing here like a job here in Bradford, but I feel like I'm from Przemyśl. It's one of the stops for Ukrainian refugees. So I go there in order to help these people as much as I can, and hopefully I'll be useful as well.
Yes, you will, definitely.
100%. You're useful now, okay?
You will definitely be used.
We're all being very useful.
Thank you so much.
I see Victoria was able to jump back on. We're about to close up and wrap up this podcast because we're about at an hour right now.
Yeah.
And then we'll dive into another conversation as soon as possible. So in closing words, Victoria, Vitaly, Yulko, I know I said thank you quite a couple of times, but I don't know how to pass my gratitude to you guys and any more than that, besides providing some sort of platform for you guys to share your stories. And I wish I could do more, to be honest with you. I'm trying to figure out what else I can do. And I'm just like, what else can I do within my capacity? And I'm like, I don't want to have a limit to my capacity.
This is a very huge one. And of course, we should say thank you to you too.
Я люблю Україну.
Yeah, I know. You guys
Україна любить тебе.
I love that I can say that and everybody knows what I'm saying, even though it's in another language. And it's just like, it's fantastic how sometimes language, emphasis and feelings and emotions kind of transcend languages. Right? Victoria just left us, unfortunately, again, but it's okay. Yuko, when you see Victoria again, please pass on our heartfelt thank you to her. Vitaly, thank you for joining us. I hope we can have a conversation again soon. And I'm expecting to stay in contact with you, Vitaly, too, because Vitaly and I were talking about him applying to be a Peace Fellow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in the future. So I'm going to keep in touch with him and get him in touch with more of my contacts, because he has a phenomenal resume and background and passion. And we need more Ukrainian Peace Fellows in the world as well. So I'm just going to be a cheerleader throughout these application processes. So you'll go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, I want to thank you for this great organization. It's very professional. I'm surprised in a good way, and I know you did a lot of work to prepare this.
It's all for a really good cause, and I couldn't think of a better cause, to be honest with you, to support you. So Yuko, we'll be in contact. Obviously we talk almost every other day through Facebook.
Yeah.
And then we'll be in contact too, Victoria, Vitaly, and I'm looking forward to attend your next Rotaractor meeting. Whenever that is, I'll be there. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Alexandra, have a safe trip to Poland.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. I love you all.
We
Well,
love you.
Take care
We
and
love you
stay
so
safe.
much, and our heart goes out to you.
I'm going to
Thank you.
Bye.
І слава Україні!
Slava.